every time I pull up at the let out, it's a spectacle.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Let Out. I'd like to introduce my co-host Sylvia, my co-host Alicia, and me, Will, aka Bob. All right. So, of course, we got a great show for you today. We want to start off by telling everyone, first and foremost, make sure that you get out and vote. We do want to make sure we mention that. It's very important in this election. So one of the topics that we're going to talk about today has to do with is election related. We want to know, why is it that Republicans like to strike fear in I guess conservatives, other Republicans, I guess it is, and in order to get votes. Plies brought that up a little bit earlier this week, so we want to kind of give our views on and our take on that. And then we'll roll with a surprise topic should we have time, because this one may be lengthy. So without further ado, there's no need to hold and pause. All right, so let me know. I'll start with Alicia. What are your thoughts on the Republicans striking fear in voters in order to get them to swing to the right?
I watched when it came on this week with the Republican convention, and it was true. It was trying to basically go ahead and to incite fear into people and saying, this is why you should vote for Trump. If you want to be safe, you want your neighborhoods to be safe, you need to vote for Trump. If you don't want low-income housing to come into your suburban neighborhoods, especially for the suburban wives, vote for Trump. If you don't want Mexicans, illegal immigrants, vote for Trump.
They said that? They said illegal.
I'm just, now some of this is my wording. Now everything else I said is their wording.
Okay.
But as far as that, yes. If you don't want your neighborhoods riddled with crime, vote for Trump. If you don't want the police defunded, vote for Trump. If you don't want to be able to, you're going to call 911 and nobody's going to answer, you better vote for Trump. And it's almost like they're speaking not just to Republicans, but to white America to instill a certain level of fear. They're basically saying that local governments have let the streets go, and they're trying to take rights away from the citizens, and they're trying to stop the police from doing their job, and they're letting rioters take over the streets. And if you want that to stop, vote for Trump. They're not really, though, of course, talking about real topics. It's just this sense of fear that unfortunately is in some people, have it instilled in them, even those who feel like they're not racist.
Yeah, I mean, if let me ask you this.
And I think that it's tapping into a certain type of person. It's tapping into a stereotype that a lot of people have about other races. And they're tapping into it and making and inciting fear and division amongst
Is it other races, though, if they're not mentioning races? I'm just asking.
And when you think about low income, who do you think that they're really speaking in reference to? Normally, that's going to be
low income.
Low income is usually associated with Black people. The rioters and the thugs taking over the streets, that is mostly, they're thinking about Black people, although it's many races out there now that's actually standing together in regards to what's going on. But it's really more so talking about Black people. So it's tapping into his base, and his base, unfortunately, is a lot of people who
isn't that how you
have racial issues.
That's exactly what I was going to
go ahead.
say.
Speak on that.
That's the same type of platform that he ran off of in the beginning to create this particular stereotype about certain types of people in America.
Make America great.
Right. If you don't want to deal with these type of people or this type of issue, then vote for me and I'll make sure you don't have to deal with this type of thing. So they're running off of, oh, it worked the first time, so let's do it again for it to work again. That's really that's one of the things. And then also that is the type of thing that they use to be able to control, like even back with the KKK. That was the type of thing that they were able to use to control, us and keep us in this box and keep us in this certain area. You can't go over to this area. You move over to this area. What you doing over here? You're not allowed over here. You don't belong over here. So it's a control thing. So if I can run my campaign on this and win on this,
why not?
Right. And that's the thing that I get, that's why they're doing it.
So
because they're able.
So doesn't every, or both, I won't say every, but the two main left and right, don't they both play on a fear or a something that sway people to vote for them? Where I know that Republicans may, you say, do the stereotype type of thing and strike fear, but the Democrats have their way of trying to swing you their way as well. Whether
Right.
that be with, okay, we're not gonna strike fear, we're gonna bribe you and tell you all this shit we're gonna give you as a poor person, as a person that doesn't have health insurance, as a person that is trying to work. We're gonna play on that. So
yeah, I agree, but
I agree with that, but you want to talk about the issues, though. What people have failed to realize is what a lot of what the Republicans are doing is they're avoiding actual issues and things right now that's really important, and you're striking fear and emotion in people. So a lot of people were really kind of let down after they voted for Trump, and a lot of the things that he promised coming into the office, it didn't actually go into place. It didn't go into effect. So they were disappointed, and that's because they were moved off of fear and emotions and fifth grade words and antics, instead of actually realizing that there's really no policies and things going into place that's going to benefit me and my household.
Right. Okay. So all right. So that makes sense. So again, most presidents, I won't say all of them, but most presidents make promises that they know that they can't keep. Most of them. So
but do you think that, because the only thing I see from what's being said is based off of fear, not off of promises that I'm gonna do these things to make your life better as an American, versus, I know this is this is what you fear the most, so let me run off this, although it probably won't change, but because I can tap into your fear,
right,
then I'm gonna run off of your fear. Because I mean, be honest,
disrespect.
They're not gonna be able
such disrespect
to the suburbs if you want to move to the suburbs.
Okay,
so saying,
I know I'm listening, but I'm the reason I'm reaching for, because I'm looking at it like we understand that there's fear, but if you look at it, it's actually strategic and Black Lives Matter. It's strategic.
It is strategic because because it works. He knows what to say to his base, though.
It's not just that it works. It does work. I agree with you 102%. The thing about it is that's what but do we expect them to do anything else? Because here's the thing: when you're running a race, and everybody's trying to be the winner, I'm going to play on what the times are. Like, if climate change is the big thing in America, that's what I'm gonna nail. I'm gonna nail that. If the riots and people feeling like that all of the racial tension is a problem and that these, rioters will get there, I'm gonna play on that, because guess what? That's where the people's heads are right now. So I won't say that they typically go for fear. I think that they go for what is beating at the time. I mean, if health insurance is really the big deal, if climate change is the big deal, if immigration is the big deal at the time.
I mean, I would think that the bigger focus is, though, right now we still have so many that have died from COVID. We have so many who are impacted right now as far as income is concerned. We have over 40 million Americans who are still currently out of work, and we're extending the unemployment for them, who we don't know for how long. we don't know if there's going to be another stimulus check to go ahead and to stimulate the community. So I mean, but my point is, those should be the things that people are wanting to talk about. Oh Lord,
right? It'll get there.
Look at the
I think it'll get there.
eyebrow. As opposed to going ahead and having a week filled about fear. It needs to be more things of what's really impacting your family right now. And I don't think most people's neighborhoods are filled with rioters. I mean, so you're right. Now you're tapping into fear, because when you tap into fear, most people don't think logically. They go off of strictly emotion.
Facts.
And
so
that's why you tap into that. Yes.
I tap into whatever I need to tap into to get the W. If it's no different from I won't use that as an example.
And I agree though by what you're saying about it being strategic, and that's what you're going to go into tap into. But people also on both sides have to make sure that you're not allowing someone to, to mind fuck you,
right,
and screw you over.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. But that's the thing. If you listen to,
you said what?
If you listen to,
your eyebrow distracted me.
If you listen to,
know. You like my new environment?
If you listen to, but if you listen to the like Trump and everything, I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do. I don't think, again, I'm not saying that. I mean, again, that got him in office. It's going to continue to be a play call from the Republican Party. Period. There's not going to be any changes. Food stupid. There's not going to be any changes made. So, but I mean, hey, I don't think, I get what you guys are saying. It is wrong to do fear, but I think it's more so I don't think it's a racial type thing, even though the way that they play it, it ends up being a racial thing. Like you said,
that's not true, because he does attract. If you're attracting racist, bigots, people full of hate, then there is a racial tone to what you're talking about, and you're trying to attract and to bring those people in, and it's activating those people.
You know what? I think because he knows that those type of people exist,
right,
and knows that those type of people are loyal to their cause, then let me tap in on their fear. And so let me tap in on their fear. And if I tap in on their fear and get them, I got it. And I think that's what he did the first time, and I really think that that's what he's doing this time.
I mean, you gotta go. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, type of deal. Like, and then this is the best time to run that strategy. This is your time to run that strategy, because at first
it is time to run that strategy. But again, people see through that shit, because people have suffered a lot of the with the health things. Like, I saw a lot of elderly people affected by what he did with health care and things he got to take away.
It's our time to, if we see through it, get your ass up. Make sure you're registered to vote. Make sure your people are registered to vote. And make sure you get your ass in line. I don't care how long. Just how you stood in line to vote for Obama, stay your ass in line to vote for the change.
Right. I mean,
and I know that some people are saying there's some people saying hold your vote until somebody goes ahead and tell you what. You should not hold your vote. Some people are talking about hold your vote in the sense of, if they're not saying what I'm going to do for you, then don't vote at all. No vote at all is a vote for Trump. Period.
I don't think it is. I think it's holding your. I think it's holding your ace. I think it's holding your ace.
But no sitting president is going to give you all of exactly what you want. It's just
you got to vote for the right one.
Well, who is that?
Kanye.
You stupid.
Man, are you on drugs? Like what?
but no, I do think that you gotta hold your ace, man. You gotta hold your ace, because when you can't just think because again, that's a ploy from the left. That's a ploy from
what's a ploy from the left?
The ploy of, we know that you're going to vote against Trump. That's our ace. We know that, so we
Well,
play
we don't
on
know
that.
that
The
because
fact
we
that
now
everybody,
see a lot of
And
people
then
from other races
we
and
have to vote
nationalities
for the
are not
party with the
voting for
black
him.
woman.
we're gonna
The party
play
with the black
on the
woman.
right. We're gonna play on two things. Of course, I'm gonna get a black woman. It makes
Yeah.
sense. That's the W. Two, the ploy I'm gonna play on is the fact that I know y'all hate, absolutely despise Donald Trump, so I don't have to work hard. All we're doing when we play our ace is to say, nope, not that easy, buddy. So we got to do that. It's not, even if we have a plan or mentally saying we're going
You
to vote
do,
for
but
you
we also
anyway
have
because
to
we hate
remember.
Trump, we
I
can't
want
give
us
you that
all to
up.
remember too that some of the biggest votings that you can take place that would occur and that you should take place in is going to be local voting. Voting within your community, voting locally is what's really important, because at the end of the day, yes, Trump, I don't know how, but he can make all kind of executive decisions and do a lot of what he wants on his own, but there's also a Congress behind him that plays a part in it. So we have to make sure that we're not voting just for the president, but also those other elections as well, making sure that you're contributing to that as well. Yes. Because a lot of those decisions being local decisions affect you immediately.
That's it.
And actually, they affect you more.
Yeah.
To be honest, because that's more direct than a president's decision, to be honest with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's right in your home, so to speak.
Because I think a lot of times we wait until the big election comes, the presidency, and we fail to realize that those local elections are the ones that impact you the most. They impact your neighborhoods, your schools, so much.
Okay, so that brings me to the next topic, and Chris can come in as well, because he just got here.
I don't know who that is. That's not Chris.
I thought y'all said 7. It's 7 o'clock somewhere. I was on time.
You gonna mess around and you gonna have hair missing right in the middle of your eyebrow.
Actually,
I hope he does.
Actually, it's not 7 o'clock nowhere. So I want to ask this too. So speaking of fear, I want to know: does fear and respect go hand in hand? Do you have to fear a person to respect them, or does respect come with fear? And I'll start with Sylvia.
I wouldn't necessarily say you would have to fear somebody to respect somebody. And when you were saying it reflects back on rearing your kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you like, when I tell you to do something, you're gonna do it, or you're gonna get disciplined, or whatever. That is like fear,
right.
And respect. But no, I would absolutely say you don't have to fear anybody to respect them, because as a grown person, I don't necessarily fear you just because I respect you. You know what I mean? Or I don't want you to feel like you have to fear me in order to respect me.
Right.
I'm human. I have opinions like you. We all have disagreements. We all don't agree on the same thing, but at the end of the day, I have mad respect for all of y'all, but I don't fear none of y'all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I got you. Alicia? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to cut me out, but no, I was really.
No, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
No, but I was really done. I don't feel like fear and respect goes hand in hand. You don't have to fear anybody to respect them.
Okay, Alicia.
I think
there are. You're completely me. I got you. Fuck you.
In the car with the
eyebrows raised up and the glasses. But I think that it depends on it really depends on what the position is. Like as a parent, there is a certain amount of fear. There's a certain amount of fear that your kids should have for you. And it's not a fear of I'm scared that she's going to beat my ass, although there could be a consequence. It's more of I think of a healthy fear of, man, I really fear disappointing my mom or letting my dad down. And you think about God, there's a proper fear of not wanting to disappoint God, not wanting to let God down.
Right.
And so
levels today. That man wrong on so many.
So, but we see that there can be an improper fear because you think about the fear that police try to put into people, and that fear actually turns people away from being able to respect them and have a proper respect level for them. So it has to be properly balanced. It has to be properly. That's why I'm not looking at you. That's why I'm not even looking here.
Chris, your take.
What's your thoughts?
She can't finish. Go ahead, Chris.
What was the question?
It's basically, do you think fear and respect go hand in hand?
I think that fear of white people. I feel white people, and I feel like black men never ride for us. And black lives. And I just got finished microwaving my kids some food.
Oh my God.
I hate Chris on every level.
What's happening? Like, what caused it? I don't understand.
You feel attacked, Chris?
I mean, he did everything right. He came 200 minutes late, sat in the truck, got the eyebrows. So will the real Chris please stand up? So what do you think that it'll go that it goes hand in hand?
Tapes off their eyebrows, bro.
Yes. Do you think?
Yes, I think that money. Hold on, what? Money,
respect.
power. Yeah, I think
respect.
That money.
Respect and fear go hand in hand.
I'm gonna be for real. I think that they're two separate things. To be honest, I think they're both. Usually, if you fear somebody, you don't respect them. You straight up fear them. That's a difference. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like that goes hand in hand, because for somebody that you fear, you're gonna take them out the first chance you got. If it's a true chance for you to knock off or get somebody out of the way that you fear, that you feel like is a threat to you, you're probably gonna take it. You wouldn't do that to somebody that you respect. So,
okay. No, all good points. I think that I think they go hand in hand. I think they go hand in hand. I think that 90% of cases, the respect that you have stems from some type of fear. Period. Whether it be fear of disappointing them, whether it be fear of them hurting you, whether there be fear of it's all stems from fear. There has to be, in most cases, there has to be fear for respect to exist. Again, same thing with parents. The same thing with parents. When you have a parent, it starts out, the root of it is fear. Respect comes later. You don't know respect when you're a kid. All you know is fear. So and then even with police, again, it may get to a point where what Chris was talking about becomes a fact or a fact, but it stemmed from fear. Like when the police stop you, you fear a ticket. You fear a ticket. You fear your life at this point. If you're us, but there's a fear that's there, and I think that you have to.
So do it really?
That's why there has to be a balance.
Start out with police as fear?
Huh?
You said what?
Do we really start out with police as fear?
In the black community, yes.
Yeah.
I can't think of too many times.
But I would say now, I can't necessarily say the same when I was growing up. And maybe it's because where I grew up at.
Maybe.
Okay, because I can't say that I feared the police when I was growing up.
I'm gonna tell you, I feared but was stupid. What happened? A story happened to me. I'll keep it brief. But when I was, early 20s, probably even not 20s, But when I was in early 20s, I got stopped by the police a couple times. I got stopped by the police here in Georgia when I first got here. And they said that I looked like, I was coming from like some shopping center. I'll start with that one. I was coming from a shopping center, and I got in the turning lane getting ready to get on the highway. And again, this is 6, 7, 8 years ago. I got in the turning lane. I'm getting ready to come, get ready to turn to get on the highway. And I notice in the turning lane, I see a cop. Mm-hmm. So behind the cop, I see, you can see in the rearview mirror, you see 2 more cops. So I reach over and I tell my wife, I say, they're about to stop us. And she was like, who? I was like, the cops. She was like, no, how you know that? No way. Soon as we hit and got on the highway, they stopped us. And when they got out, they had hands on hip. They rushed the car, and it's like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like that fear. And this is, again, 7, 8 years ago, before we're talking about the George Floyds and, Garner and all of that. There's a fear for a black man, for me, for a dark-skinned man. I know Chris.
But what I'm saying
can't understand my plight.
But what I'm saying, even as a kid, you know what I mean, when we're younger. So it's like, if you're in trouble or if you're lost, you know what I mean? If you see a police officer, you go to the police officer and say, hey. And maybe because I grew up where I grew up from was a smaller town. I understand you grew up, in Memphis or whatever. Maybe it was different. And that's why I'm saying, was it always like that as far as a police officer is concerned?
It depends on what your parents.
I remember I told y'all with my ex, I think I told y'all before that when he was a kid, the police officers would roll up in the neighborhood, put them in squad cars, take them around to another neighborhood, beat their ass in the alley and leave them there and make them have to go ahead and walk home.
Fuck you off.
Is that for real, or did you see that on Menace to Society?
Like it was.
Did that happen for real, or we saw it on Menace to Society?
But I mean, but that's when we're older. I'm talking about when we were young, like elementary side.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
They were. They were.
Yeah, but you're talking about beating as in with like a strap or a belt, as opposed to beating with nightsticks, right?
No, I'm not.
I'm talking about Alicia, her story.
That what?
Because you said they were young, so you must be talking about when they were young. The police went around and beat them with like straps, a belt, or something like that, and then left them.
No, they beat their ass.
Oh, you were talking about elementary then. They wouldn't beat like a kid.
Okay.
But
a kid beat a kid with a nightstick?
I ain't talking with a nightstick. I'm talking with their hands, like you punch them. Like, when they got a little bit older, of course, then the ass whooping was real. But when he talked about it, even then, it was like, it didn't even feel like it was a big. It didn't even feel like it was a big deal.
And what race is he?
Who? My ex-husband?
Yes.
He's black.
Exactly.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, okay. I was lost for a minute.
Maybe.
For a minute, you got me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it came at a certain age. I'm just saying, in elementary, there was no fear. Maybe when it got to school and on up, when kids start acting out, maybe then that's whatever. I know for a fact.
I think everybody have different experiences. I think for me, though, how I was raised, it was completely different. We was raised, we was in the hood, but the hood was still pretty good back, during that time. So, and then we were kind of
a neighborhood.
Yeah, she had a neighborhood.
Yeah, and then it also kind of depends on your
neighborhood.
Your parents. You're right. That's true.
Get that
So question for you. Okay, so leading into that, I go into the last because we got like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Is prejudice necessary?
Is what?
Is prejudice necessary?
Prejudice?
Prejudice.
Yeah.
I think we all have prejudices.
It happens.
We might not discriminate. We might not be racist, but we all have prejudices and assumptions about each other, other races, sexes, so forth and so on. I don't know that it's necessary, but I think that it is.
It's necessary.
I think it's
synonym Is prejudice a synonym for preference, though?
Listen, it could be. And then the thing about it is like prejudice is necessary. Prejudice is necessary for, in some cases, for survival. And stereotypes are necessary for survival sometimes. You have to know what's out here that could harm you. And unfortunately, you have prejudices against those potential harms. So unfortunately, when we talk about racism, and that's another thing, when you talk about racism, we have to look at what constitutes a racist. I do want to know that. I do want to know what constitutes a racist, because we throw the term around loosely like love and friendship.
So, but, okay.
What constitutes a true racist?
To another. I think it's for one race to be superior to another, or the belief that one race is superior to another is racist.
The belief, but does that belief have to accompany actions?
I think it's hard not to.
Yeah, I think it's hard.
Okay, so if let's say for instance,
you're gonna always choose the superior, even if it's something in the grocery store. You're picking up something in the aisle of the supermarket. You're gonna go for what item you feel is superior.
Your preference.
Right? That's a fact.
Your preference.
That's a fact. So, but you go for superior, but you don't just look down upon. But just because you don't choose, or you call the other
racism will cause you to look down upon. A prejudice is, again, it's an assumption. I'm assuming that because you are, and I'm just throwing shit out here before y'all get started, not y'all, but anybody. I'm assuming because you're an Asian lady, you do nails. That is a prejudice that I have, or an assumption. Right. Yeah, it is. So to me, that's different. But if I say I think that Chinese people, Asian people are gross, they brought over COVID for the Chinese?
The China virus.
Right.
Yeah, the China virus, like things of that nature.
Is that racist, or is that still stereotype?
That's, in that specific scenario, that's one I'm looking for, a blame game and a scapegoat.
That's a stereotype, but it becomes prejudice if you feel like they are beneath you, because I feel like this is.
I mean, racist.
Well, yeah.
Racist.
If
okay.
I feel this is what they are. They brought it over here, so I'm not gonna deal with them because they're beneath me. I'm better than that, because I would never do that to my.
So
people.
if I call an Asian person a racist slur once or twice in life, or 2 or 3 times, but my actions show different, am I a racist?
No, you're just an asshole.
You definitely had a racist moment.
Yeah, you're just an asshole.
People can have racist moments.
You can have racist moments. Does that make you a racist?
I mean, can you have I don't know.
You can. You can, because we have them all the time.
A racist moment, because no, the
Just
core,
like
no,
you have asshole
no.
moments.
Black people don't have racist moments.
Moment don't make
you
you an
No,
asshole.
I'm not saying black people don't. I thought you said me. Okay.
No, I said we do all the time. I'm saying, like, not you per se, but I'm saying, like, as black people, we have a racist moment all the time. We sometimes, I mean, I love us, but we sometimes describe our racism as black pride when there's a difference.
No, I can agree with that. I think that anyone can be a racist. I don't think that is just delegated solely to European or white people.
But why to have pride in one's culture makes them racist?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, that's no. What I'm saying is there's a, I don't want to confuse the two, is what I'm saying. Like, sometimes it's okay to have black pride, but sometimes it translates
borderline.
So it's right. It's right there.
The Terry Crews.
Depends on what type of thing. So what I'm saying is, a lot of times we overuse the term. We got 1 minute. This was a great episode, actually. Chris, thanks for coming in. Again, remember, guys, vote. If you like the show, please like, comment, and subscribe. We got a lot of good changes and stuff, upgrades coming for you guys. I'll say it again.
And all bullshit aside, y'all register and vote.
Register and vote. For whatever side you want to vote for, just vote so that you have a voice and we can understand what's true and what's real out here and what people really feel. Don't be a racist motherfucker. I'll let y'all. We'll talk later.
Next time.
All right.
Next time.
Asshole.
Every time I pull up at the let out, it's a spectacle.